Okay, so the next step is the coconut milk. I've just opened the can. I use Simply Asia Thai Kitchen organic coconut milk, unsweetened, so there's no sugar in here except for the natural sugars that come from the coconut. Now, I have to blend this together before I can measure it because coconut milk is separated in the can. There's like this thick, fatty stuff on top and then the more liquid in the bottom. Come on out. Jeez. Usually slides right out. Okay, so this was like the thick, wonderful coconut milk. And then there's this watery stuff in the bottom. So I'm going to blend these two things together. Nice and creamy and rich. Coconut milk is wonderful. It's just lovely. Okay, so next I am going to measure my 5 ounces of coconut milk and 5 ounces of aloe. Put them together. Oop, that was a little bit more than 5, but I'm okay with that. Tear this down here, whatever. Now I'm going to put, this is my aloe gel. I cleaned it up and put it in another container because I was using this one. So let me get 5 ounces of these aloe chunks in here. Again, a little bit more than 5, like 5.5, but it's all good. This is the good stuff in the soap. And the apricot oil. So I'm gonna stick that off to the side. Now I'm gonna blend these two things together. So what I'm really trying to do here is break down the aloe gel so that it's more liquidy and it's not, you know, right now it's in big chunks. So that coconut milk helps me break down the aloe. Okay, so I've got the aloe and the coconut milk blended together. I'm gonna put it through a strainer to remove any of the chunks of aloe, and then I'll show you what's next. So this is all I'm doing. I have the container that the aloe was in, and I'm gonna go ahead and strain it. The aloe and coconut mixture gets put through a strainer because there's still little bits and chunks of aloe, which is not a bad thing. But there's also like some green leaf in there still. It's like really hard to get rid of all of that. So I just strain it. You still get a ton of aloe in the final product. This is the fun part of soap making. If you're interested in making soap, making your own recipes and finding your own techniques is really what it's all about. So you can create a unique product for your customers or for yourself if you're not interested in selling. You just want to control the ingredients that are in your products, which is a great idea because we are bombarded with toxins and everything else in our store-bought products. Okay, so most of that went in there. Now, I don't know if you can see, but there's little green leafy bits and just kind of this chunky foam. So that's all. And in here is our strained aloe and our coconut milk. And that's going to go in the soap after it cooks. So let me show you what's next. I'll be right back. So continuing to prep my ingredients, I have some cocoa butter here that I'm desperately trying to chip off a huge block of it. This stuff is really hard. So I've been cutting and chipping away. I need 5 ounces of cocoa butter. This is going to be my super fat. This mixed with the apricot oil is going to be my super fat. So I have 5 ounces, right on the nose, of cocoa butter. Once my cook is, ready, I'm going to go ahead and melt this and add the apricot oil. And I think I'm actually going to add some argan oil too. So yeah, moving on. Okay, so my coconut oil is fully melted. It just finished melting totally. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add in my olive oil. Scrape everything out. What is going on there? Okay. I have my window open and I'm hearing a whistling sound. So I'm sorry if that's in the video and if it's bothering you. But I need my window open right now. Okay, so there was a couple little chunks of coconut oil left in that container. All right, so, whoops. Don't want to put the whole spoon in there, the whole spatula. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, and this is my lye solution. Both my oils and my lye, well, after putting the olive oil in, it probably came down. So 110 oils, 121 lye. I'm going to go ahead and slowly pour the lye in on the side here. Now you don't want what's called a soap volcano. I'm going to turn my slow cooker onto low. Put that in the sink. Let me just gently stir for a second here. Soap volcano is when it's too hot and it boils over and makes a huge mess. So reduce the heat a little bit. I'm going to stir this up. So we're at 117. Now mind you, this is my first hot process. I have watched countless videos, read countless articles and blog posts, etc., etc. Trying to learn as much as I can about hot process. So I'm going to go ahead and stick blend right about now. Where's the other piece? Okay. Tapping out the air bubbles. Okay, so I've blended this to emulsification. I realize with all of that olive oil and using full water, which I never do with my cold process soaps, that trace is going to take forever. I've been blending and blending and literally my hand is starting to cramp. So emulsification is what it's gonna be today, which is totally fine. It's the stage right before trace. And trace is when you pull your stick blender out of the batter, run the drippings along the top of the surface of the soap, and you can see little trails. I'm not seeing trails, but this is definitely emulsified. Yeah. So I turned my heat back up to high. I'm going to put my stick blender on the side here. And I'm going to cover this with plastic wrap first. Okay. Oh geez, there we go. And then put the lid on here. This just helps the water stay in there. Okay, so it's back on high. I'm gonna watch this closely. And from what I understand, it goes through a couple stages. First, it starts to look like applesauce, and then it starts to look like Vaseline. So once you get to the Vaseline stage, you take it out of the heat, turn the heat off, and then you can add your super fat, etc. So yeah, I will bring you back once we reach the first stage. Okay, so it's been cooking for about 20 minutes. I want to replace the plastic wrap because I didn't cut a big enough piece. So I'm going to do that and show you where we are. Nice big piece there. Okay. Now I know you're not supposed to open this. Kind of the same idea of when you're cooking in a crock pot. But I really want to get this out of here. Look at that. It's starting to fold in and get to that applesauce stage. So I'm very happy. Stretch this out a little better. Being anal. Okay. So there it is so far. I'm going to put the lid back on tightly. And we'll be back. Okay. Now, some people stir their hot process during the cook and some don't. It fogged up quite a bit and I can still kind of see that it's folding in. Oh my goodness, look at that. I feel the strong desire to stir this right now. Look at all the water condensation building up on the plastic. Ah, no. Okay, I'm gonna set this to the side. Plastic wrap is not fun, but look at that. It is cooked and kind of folded in on itself. The middle is still a little juicy. I'm gonna use my whisk, juicy, what's wrong with me, and stir this up here. Oh, it's lovely. There's something so satisfying about stirring this up right now. Oh my god, it's so fluffy and just, I guess this would be the applesauce stage because it is looking kind of chunky. Wow. It's very smooth and fluid still, which is what I was going for. I really want a fluid hot process because I see some people's hot process that looks really dry and chunky. And I was hoping mine would not turn out that way. So, wow. I'm happy so far. I have to let this cook a little bit longer until it gets to the Vaseline stage. I'm gonna skip the plastic wrap, just use it to hold my whisk over here so don't make a mess. Just cover it and continue watching it, and I'll bring you back. Well, you look at this. It's like touching the lid. It looks like it wants to expand. So I'm going to stir it. Open it up and stir it. I don't see some of it got on the lid. So move that aside. Wow, it's so fluffy and hot. Ooh. Don't believe we've reached Vaseline stage yet. It's just very thick and fluffy and wow. This is kind of fun. I mean, I love making cold process. Cold process is really fun for me because I'm a boring person and I think making soap is fun. No, but it is. It really is. I love creating things just in general. So, wow, this is so fluffy. Okay, I'm going to turn the heat down because I feel like this is going to volcano on me. So I'm just going to keep stirring it and hopefully prevent it from boiling out of my pot. But it's so satisfying to stir it. It's like this fluffy, foamy loveliness. But yeah, it's right at the edge. Let me take the temperature. It's 204 degrees. I mean, that means it's done, right? Okay, it looks like Vaseline right there, like on the edge. Oh my gosh, okay. I set a timer for 60 minutes for an hour. And let's see. There's still 15 minutes left on that timer. So I want to give it the full time, you know? I don't want to be premature. Let me get all of the stuff on the edges back in there. See, that looks like Vaseline to me. It's hard to see it. On the camera there. Sorry, I'm really focused on what I'm doing right now. Okay, so I've reduced the heat to low. Obviously, it's going to take a minute to actually reduce. But I'm going to go ahead and I managed to get it down by stirring so it doesn't look like it's going to volcano on me. So I'm going to go ahead and cover it and give it the rest of its time for 15 more minutes, okay? Okay, so the timer just went off. So this has had a full hour to cook with me stirring it twice. And that definitely looks like Vaseline stage to me. Not that I'm an expert, but you know, just from watching the videos. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off my crock pot. And I'm going to give this a stir and take the temperature. Ooh, it's fluffy. Wow, look at that. In the middle, like I said, it really does look like Vaseline. See that? I don't know if it's coming across on camera because it's just so fluffy and like It looks so cloud-like. Wow. Okay. So we are at 203 degrees. I'm gonna take it out, take the pot out of the crock, and move this aside. Okay. Put some paper towels there because this is hot. Can you hear it like sizzling? Wow. All right. So I heated up my cocoa butter, so that's still kind of warm and melted. I'm gonna go ahead and add that first. This is why I wanted to do a hot process. For one thing, just to try it, because I've been making soap for a couple years now and I've never tried hot process. But I really love the idea of controlling which oils are your super fat. So I know that because I cooked this, it has saponified the coconut oil and the olive oil. So the lye is gone. It's been cooked into the oils and there's no 24-hour saponification as with cold process. So the lye is not attaching itself to the cocoa butter, which means all of that wonderful cocoa butter is what's left on your skin when you're done using this soap. It's super moisturizing, and just, you know, if you're not familiar with cocoa butter, I highly recommend you read about it. It's wonderful for your skin. It's been said to help with stretch marks and skin discolorations, and it's just really moisturizing and nice. I don't want to use this whisk anymore because this is kind of stiff, so I'm going to switch to spatula here. Clean that off. Okay. Now we're at 182. Yeah, that's warm. Okay, so I'm going to stir that up really well. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add, this is the apricot oil mixed with the argan oil. I want to get all of that goodness in there. Also, that's not saponifying. That's going to be skin nourishing and all that good stuff. Oh, my camera battery is dying. Let me mix this in very quickly, very well. Gosh darn it. Okay. I might have to switch to my phone because my camera is dying here. Dying on me. Okay, so now, well, it went up a little. Okay, so I'm just gonna Let it cool until it's about 160 degrees. And then we will add the coconut milk and the so it has cooled down. 162. The reason I wanted it to cool down to 160 before adding my coconut milk and aloe mixture is because I don't really want to cook the aloe and the coconut milk. That would damage some of its skin loving properties. So I went ahead and added 1 more ounce of coconut milk to the mixture because I wanted it to be a little bit more fluid. This actually looks really good though. For my first hot process, pretty proud of myself right now. It's not too chunky or dry or anything. It's looking good. Okay, so aloe and coconut milk going in. All of that beautiful aloe gel and coconut milk that your skin loves. I'm going to gently mix this in until it's very well incorporated, and then we can put this in the mold. This has been really fun making this. I'm not going to exclusively make hot process because this took a lot longer than my cold process recipes. So yeah, it's nice. It's been really fun to make. Oops, I just spilled a little bit. But cold process, once you get your oils and your lye mixture to temperature, it just comes together like that. Okay. Wow, did it heat up? No, it's 154. Okay. I think some of that coconut milk is just steaming off of it. Okay. Just want to make sure everything is very well blended in there, and I think we're good. And this, it seems a little messier than cold process too. Okay. Finally, here is the mold. This is my 5-pound basic mold from Nurture Soap. I'll put a spinner here. Alright, so yeah, we're gonna mold this up now, and then we're gonna cut it tomorrow. It should take about 24 hours to get hard enough to cut. It's still chunkier than I was hoping it would be. But this is my first hot process batch, as I've mentioned several times. It's heavy. Okay, I'm going to tap. Okay, tapped it down. I'm going to get the rest in here. Okay, I'm going to use my spatula to get the rest of this out. Okay. So, get it in line with the mold here. I'm going to tap it down again. Still warm, but it's not so hot that I can't touch it. I just want to kind of mold it in. It's way more than my mold can hold. So it's going to have a mounted top. I feel I need to smack it down one more time. Okay. And my camera is seriously going to die. Like, for real this time. So I want to thank you for watching. Please stay tuned for the cutting. I'm just going to mount this up, set it aside for 24 hours, cut it tomorrow, and I'll see you then. It'll only be like a couple seconds for you. So yeah, there's my first. Okay, camera angle a little weird there. I'm back to cut this soap. It's about a day and a half later. That's a little better. Filming on my phone now. I realize my camera is crap and I don't really want to use it anymore. Okay, so cutting my first hot process soap. It's nice and hard. I just want to cut a little sliver off the end first. That looks nice. It's smooth. It looks a little more rustic than my cold process soaps, but it's nice and smooth. Cut a full bar here. Now this white part here, these little discolorations, that's just soap that cooled down as I was layering it in the mold. There's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly good. It just smells like soap. Obviously I didn't add any fragrance to it, so it doesn't have any scent really. I'm also going to do a lather test so you can see. That's the top. See how the top is a little whiter? As it cooled down. It looks good though. Doesn't feel sticky or anything. It just looks like a nice soap. No fancy swirls or colors. It's just a good rustic bar soap. I'm really excited to use it because it has so many wonderful ingredients in it. See those big white pieces? That's just it just cooled down a little faster than the rest of it. I have really sensitive skin, which is a big part of why I got into soap making in the first place. So I love soap like this. No fragrance, no colors. Not that the fragrance and colors really bother me, but this soap has all that aloe and coconut milk. That's wonderful. I did make this in cold process before. I just wanted to try this recipe in a hot process because it was my first hot process and this is my most simple basic soap recipe. they don't look different from each other, so I don't know why I'm showing you each and every bar. Let me get these cut up really quickly, and then we'll do a lather test. Okay, welcome to my kitchen sink. I'm going to test out my hot process here. Look at that. And you get to see my tattoos. Look at that. It feels so silky. Oh my goodness. It's all that aloe and that coconut milk. Look at that creamy lather. It feels wonderful. I can't wait to shower with this. Yes, I love it. Oh man, and it's hard, but it still has some give. So I am going to let this cure for about 2 weeks before I sell it, just to make sure it's nice and hard. But hot process is pretty much ready to use right when you're done cutting it. There's some good bubbles. Oh yeah. My hands feel nice and soft and silky. I'm happy. So that was my first hot process. Thank you for watching. This will be available in my Etsy shop in 2 weeks. So mid-April. And please comment, like, share, and especially subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.